So let's check out the footwork you can learn from Trey over at Winners Only, the tennis account on YouTube. So let's watch this point and then we'll analyze them. Now, you may recognize Trey from a video I made about 2 or 3 weeks ago showing him how he could improve his serve. And Trey is a super likable guy, and Aaron, same thing. Make sure you're subscribing to their awesome YouTube channels. So let's check out the footwork from this point. So right here, we have got Trey leaning on his back foot. Now, is that bad? Absolutely not. In fact, sometimes it's detrimental to try to get your weight to go forward in certain situations. And this would actually be one of them. So he just got out of the serve. He did a little split step moving backward. And now he does a crossover step. So you can see right there, that's a drop step and a crossover. So look at Trey's feet. He drops back with the right foot. Then he crosses over with the left to get back quickly. And then here he takes a big step with his right foot to create the scenario for open stance. This is going to be awesome because he is going to use what is called a back foot pivot. A back foot pivot is when you're moving backward, you're leaning backward, and it's not easy to then just get your weight going forward again. In fact, what you'll see with the pros, they'll just embrace the fact that they're leaning back on their back foot, and they'll pivot and bring their front foot behind them. So Trey, I don't know if you were taught this or you're working on this, but that is absolute perfection when it comes to how to run or use the back foot pivot footwork while hitting a forehand. All right, so here you can see Trey's split step. So watch Trey split step right there. The split step timing should always be after your opponent hits. So let's zoom in on Aaron. Aaron hits the ball right now. So let's look at Trey, and he split steps after. It should be around 0.2 seconds after your opponent hits. So let's actually check that out. So there's the contact. We put a timer down, and let's see. It's like between 0.2 and 0.25. So there you go, 0.23. Awesome. That's when he's landing. That's synchronizing his feet with his reaction time. You want to land when you're around the time your brain is actually reacting. And that way, the moment you can land, you can go in any direction. Here is another back foot pivot. Leans back on his back foot and he rotates. See, rotation is more important than just getting your weight to go forward. And if getting your weight to go forward is going to keep you from rotating, then you shouldn't do it. So that was absolutely great. Now, this is a low ball. So he's going to use a different footwork. He's moving forward. So he uses what is called a closed stance fallout. A closed stance is when you step across, which is commonly used on low balls. Open stance is usually on higher balls. Closed stance usually on lower balls. That is not just like a blanket statement, but it's definitely right more than it's wrong. And when you use a closed stance, it is best to swing that back foot around, just make sure that you rotate. So that's why it's a closed stance, and then you fall out of it. And you basically finish in an open stance. So here he comes back with the split step right in the middle. By the way, look how he recovered. He recovers with his chest facing forward, but his body going to the side, like lower body, moving to the side with that crossover step. That's really, really good. He does a little kind of flow split step here as he goes to hit a backhand. Now, we cannot see what he's going to do after this because his weight is going over, but we can see that he's in a closed stance. He's got that right foot across, and look how he brings that left foot around. Closed stance fallout. When you're in a closed stance, you got to fall out of it so that your hips can turn. So far, Trey is just amazing with his footwork. This is awesome. So there's the split step to help him change direction. So now we've got a dilemma here, right? This is usually where I see players make mistakes. Trey is leaning back, hitting a backhand. This is where it is critical. We just saw this on the forehand, that he pivots on his back foot, and we should see his right foot swing behind him. Let's see what he does. Yes, he does it again. And by the way, Trey did not put me up to this video. He has no idea I'm making this video. He'll find out. Like some of you are like, did somebody pay you to make that video? No, I'm just helping you to learn from some of these great channels that are out there, and maybe they get some exposure. You subscribe to them. And so he's on his back foot and he rotates Right foot becomes the back foot. Really great stuff. You'll also notice one thing here. Notice that after Trey hits this ball, he positions himself slightly over to the left. That's interesting. You might be like, why would he do that? Well, maybe he's trying to entice a down the line shot from Aaron, or maybe he just wants to be ready in case there's a sharp drop shot cross court, or he's just basically thinking, hey, I'm going to bisect the two shots that Aaron can hit. So Aaron hits a slice approach shot. Here is a closed stance. You already know the trick because we've already talked about it a couple times. We should see his right foot swing around, which it does brilliantly. By the way, let's talk strategy. Aaron is coming to the net, and when he attacks the net, it's going to be very enticing for Trey to avoid him by going for a cross-court pass or a down-the-line pass. Instead of avoiding your opponent, involve your opponent when they come to the net. And that's exactly what Trey does. He involves Aaron and he just hits the ball low to him. When your opponent comes to the net, there's a lot of room between them and the net initially, right off of their approach shot. So you can just hit the ball low, the ball will get to their feet, and the chances of winning go way up. Really great stuff. I will say too, you'll notice that Trey started to go forward in case that ball was short. Then Trey can go for the pass on the second shot. It's called a two-shot passing shot strategy. But really cool stuff. Make sure you're subscribing to these awesome channels. Now, if you're tired of lugging around your old and outdated ball machine, then just make your tennis friends jealous and get the Proton Ball Machine by Hydrogen Sports. And right now you can get free shipping in the USA when you use my link. It's in the description. You'll find it in the first comment. You'll also see it on the screen at the end of this video. The Proton is fully programmable using its intuitive app. In fact, you control it using your smartphone or watch. It holds up to 100 balls and weighs less than 20 pounds. To see how truly amazing this ball machine is, and to get free shipping when you order one, be sure to use my link. So click right there to check out the Proton Ball Machine, and when you click that link, you'll be given a coupon code for free shipping. You work on your footwork just like Trey, there's no doubt. You're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. Trey, you got this.